Welcome to your external task support pack. This is something that you should be using at the same time as looking at the pack that has been given to you to guide you through your external task. This is an independent piece of assignment that you will be completing on your own, and you will need to submit it to your tutors to ensure that you can pass the course. Your unit will be communication, or if you should fail that, it will be safeguarding. Therefore, we're going to look at how we can launch you for this. It's important that you look at the features of the external tasks so that you can be fully ready to complete the task yourselves. It is useful to look at the different breakdowns, and the breakdowns will be featured in different recordings to ensure that you can click on the recording that you are most interested in having a breakdown of. Furthermore, you need to look at all your classwork for all the different units that you're covering and see how they can be used for your external task. Because although this unit is called communication and the next one will be safeguarding, it doesn't automatically mean that you are just concentrating on what is taught in the communication or just the safeguarding units. You do need to consider how this is a holistic external task which is asking you to feature the theme that it is asking for. However, you need to ensure that you look at other wide-ranging material from the other units that are required. On a general note, there is an expectation of how you write the report. This includes including the titles, making sure that you make your main points and consider the word count, ensure that you are expecting to write your references within the text, ensure you have quotes, and obviously have that all in the manner of Harvard style. So it's important that that is what you do. You will note that there is a cover sheet that you need to attach to your work, and it gives you fair instructions about what you need to have. The cover sheet needs to have your name, your learner number according to Cash, the center number, the batch number, your qualification number, assessment theme, the submission date of when you have submitted the work, the number of words that you have on your assignment, the number of pages that you have had, your learner signature, and the date. These are sort of noted over here on the external cover sheet, and we will take a look at that some more. This is the external assessment cover sheet that you can see, which is clearer on this format. You can see that you will need to ensure you have your qualification number, you will have your assessment code. For the non-technical, you will have the learner name, as in your name in full as it appears on your registration, your learner number, which needs to be supplied to you by your tutor, the center number, the batch number, and so on. Here you have the submission date, the number of words that you have in your work, which needs to be minus 5,000 words and does not need to exceed 10% over, and does not include your quotes or your references, and the page numbers. You'll find a number of features also to follow. This means that you will need to ensure that you will have your learner signature and the date of submission. What is really important is you see the instructions for completing and submitting your assignment. It says you must produce your assessment in the electronic format using black font, Arial size 11 to 14. This means that your work needs to be in Arial 11 to 14. Let's show you what that means. This means that if you select your document, you need to ensure that you are in Arial and you are between the sizes of 11 to 14 within your work. If you are above or below this, unfortunately they will not choose to mark it. As well as that, you need to ensure that your work is in the black format rather than any other color. It's very important that you follow the instructions, otherwise you may lose your chance to have your work marked. It states number 2, the external assessment cover sheet, which I'm showing you, must be included on your assessment. You are going to have to manipulate and edit the document and submit it at the same time as your piece of work. Your piece of work that you submit must have your name, your learner number, and the center number appear on every page of your assessment. You must also number each page of your assessment in the format of page X of Y, where X is the number of page and Y is the total number of pages. This assessment must be submitted to your tutor. It says in a single plastic sleeve and unstapled. This was when it was done in a physical format. At the moment, you need to submit it in an electronic format to your tutor under Teams, external task assessment sheet and cover sheet. It is vital that you submit your work to your tutor so that they can send it off. Without your submission, we cannot send your work off. So it's vital that you meet the deadline that is required. I will now show you the features of point 3. When you submit your work, you are expected to follow a number of different formatting points. Of course, you do need to have your title on every single part that you are completing. So for example, you have your D1, describe key issues that apply to the theme, and you write your work in. Then you move on to what it says in the manner of D2 and so on. At the end of that, you have your references area, which is your D3, and it will continue. However, that is not enough in your submission. What you need to ensure you do is you have something called your name, learner number. You can have your batch number, however, that is not necessarily always required. You have the center number, which is 002697, and you have the assessment theme, non-technical, health and social care / CEA1, communication within health and social care. This needs to appear at the top of each of your pages. One of the ways you can best do this without editing on every single page is to complete this action. You go to Insert. From Insert, you go to Header. The header then allows you to insert a top heading. This top heading allows you to feature any information that you would like to put in here, like the information that we had on there. And what you will note is that it will now appear at the top of every single page. This is really key instead of trying to manipulate every page and add that information, for the sheer reason that you do not want to have to keep editing that information and on every sheet. I'm going to try and see if I can return to my original. And you can see now what you need to do. You need to put within your header the following bits of information. You must put your name in full as it is on the registration of your work and will appear in your certificate, otherwise it will not tally with what they have on their files. You must also add your learner number, which will be 105572, and then there will be 3 digits that your tutor will supply to you. These 3 extra digits will make your unique learner number for CASH. It is not your learner number as it appears on your college ID, because CASH have their own registration number. The batch number, it is 805541494. That will be the batch number for the assignments going out, so that is the same for every single student. The center number for CASH for the college is 002697. Furthermore, what you will need to take a look at is you have to have the assessment theme, which is health and social care / CEA1, communication within health and social care. This must appear on the top, as in the header of every single page that you have. If you do it once, it will appear on every single page you have without having to need to change that. The other feature that you require is to ensure that you are inserting something called a footer. Now, if you press Insert, it will allow you to insert further on here. It says a footer. This footer will then give you an opportunity to insert a footer of a kind. What is really important is we can also go through via trying to insert actually a page number. Let's do it that way. When you have your page number at the bottom of the page, you need to go all the way down until you find the part that says page X of Y. You can choose bold number 1, you can choose bold numbers 2, you can choose bold numbers 3, I believe that is the main one. Yes, those are your 3 features that you can use, or 3 options that you have, where it says page X of Y. You cannot simply put in a single page, because then if a page goes missing, they do not know how many pages you have submitted. So it's really important that it says page 1 of 1 in either format, either on the left-hand side, in the middle, or the right-hand side. When you insert that, what will happen automatically is it will automatically decide on all the pages you have, and it will automatically number every single page. Then you can edit the footer by putting in your word count. Now remember, you can find the word count at the bottom of your work, but it mustn't exceed 5,500 words. And the other feature that we need to consider is that any quotes and any references that you've added are not included. So this means that if you have a reference list, for example, I believe it's below, if you have a D3 where you have your reference list, you do not need to include that. So it may mean that you have to complete a little bit of mental or calculations to ensure that you remove anything that is featured there. And you are able to then come up with your full amount of your word count. So do ensure that you are doing your first submission of communication for health and social care, and if you fail, you will then do a unit of safeguarding for health and social care. It is really, really important that you follow the instructions that have been given to you, and as you can see for another section here, there is a word limit of 5,000 words, and you must not exceed it by 10%. Otherwise, it will not be marked. What is also fully important is that you fully engage with not plagiarizing, because that will automatically mean that you will not achieve on your assignment. Plagiarism is any instance of plagiarism will result in the certificate assessment being awarded a refer grade. For further guidance, there is information in the learner handbook, but one of the key ways that you can ensure that you don't end up with that problem is that they have given you some guidance on how to include your quotations and your referencing. There are 2 websites that we are currently using in the college, which is Cite This For Me and Neil's Toolbox, but it is vital that you use one that is appropriate and you understand. If not, you just look at the key features of how to reference, which is really important. Do not forget that every single one of your criteria, from your D to your A star, needs to have 2 quotations within them. This is including any in-text referencing that you may have, and so it does state that quotations are a requirement of this assessment. 2 quotations within each grade must clearly be identified through quotation marks, italic, and emboldened text. The sources of all quotations must be shown within the assessment at the point where the quotations have been used, and any quotations from websites must also be shown in full, stating the date of access. There are some examples of how you may do this. This doesn't include the online references, but we have been working on how you reference any articles or videos or information that you find online, so please make sure that you follow that guidance. One of the things that I would also recommend is London South Bank University have a great video online for instructions on how to reference, and it is really important that you start doing the referencing in the correct format, because you can lose out completely if you do not feature those aspects. So do ensure that you follow through, and I wish you the best of luck. Please come back again for the other features that follows.